Steffi Graf. Michael Stieg plays Brad Gilbert, and Pete Sampras then plays Martin Dam. Let's join our hosts now, the USA Network.
We'll also see Steffi Graf in the grandstand court against veteran Pam Shriver. Shriver was a two-time semifinalist in the early 80s. Graf is nursing some nagging injuries, but seems determined to make this a memorable Open, especially after her performance, as we look at that a couple of months ago at Wimbledon. Crushing forehands on her way to the championship. For Steffi, it was her third championship in England. But more importantly, Graf ended Monica Seles' streak of 3 straight Grand Slam victories. On a roll coming in, definitely as Steffi Graf. And to call the Graf-Shriver match at the grandstand, Linda Pence and Tracy Austin standing by. Let's head over there. Linda?
Well, thanks, Joel. As you can probably hear, they're still drying the court behind us, although Pam Shriver has decided to get out there and take a few warm-up shots. She's going up against the #2 player in the world, Steffi Graf. Shriver really has been a double specialist the last few years. Has she any chance, Tracy, in singles against Graf?
Actually, I think she does, because these two players have played 10 times before. Shriver has won 3 of them, including the last one. So she knows going out on the court that she has beaten her before. So that gives her a little bit of confidence, and she seems very eager. She's been out here for the last hour trying to get a hit in between all the people that are blowing the courts.
Well, Shriver's confident, but does she have the game to beat Graf? What does she have to do today?
Well, when she's beaten her before, she gets the big serve. Today, she told me before the warm-up that the serve is going to have to be on. That's going to be her biggest weapon. Well,
Shriver will be trying to get that big serve in today. Let's go back now to you, Joel.
All right, stay out of the rain, Linda. Thank you.
Round women's match taking place on the grandstand. Linda Pence and Tracy Austin are there.
Steffi Graf has held that trophy a couple of times on this court. She's facing a veteran, Pam Shriver. Graf is serving in the near court. It's 2-all in the first set and 30-love. And so far, Tracy, Shriver's really held her own in this match.
She really has, because she's serving well. Already served 2 aces, and that's the key for her. That's the biggest weapon. Try to get in on every shot, attack everything. Steffi's second serve as well.
And there she came, Pam Shriver, straight into the net, and it worked well. 30-15. Steffi Graf seeded second here this year. 23 years old, still living in Brühl, Germany. The jets are passing over us today. The weather changed this morning. We had a lot of rain, and the flight pattern changed with it.
What she's got to do. Pam knows that if she stays in the backcourt, she cannot compete with Steffi back there. Her best game is at the net, attacking on everything, making Steffi come up with the pinpoint passing shots.
Shriver couldn't make that one. She had a little bit of bad luck, Tracy, right before this match began.
Yeah, apparently she was taking her sweater off and a bee stung her left hand. So she had to have the trainer, Kathleen Stroya, come out right before the match, take a look at it. Because she uses one hand on that backhand, I'm sure it won't affect her too much. More than anything, I think it's disconcerting mentally. Right before the match, it's not something you want to have to think about.
Shriver again all over that net, forcing Steffi Graf to deuce on her serve.
And Steffi doesn't seem quite on her game yet. Pam Shriver was out here warming up literally up to 10 minutes before she went on to play Steffi Graf. Steffi Graf was nowhere in sight. The only place that she might have warmed up is in the city, somewhere indoors. Otherwise, I don't think she got a warm up.
Very difficult conditions here this morning with the rain. Shriver was out on the court as the blowing machines were still drying the court. She had to stay up at the net for a while, place she likes to be anyway. It's advantage Graf to take a 3-2 lead in this first set. And there's that forehand winner from Steffi Graf. She takes a 3-2 lead in this first set. Let's check out the stadium court now.
All right, Linda and Tracy, thank you. Here on Stadium Court, Andre Chesney.
We'll check in now with Linda Pence and Tracy Austin.
And a very competitive match in progress here. Pam Shriver still serving, still rushing the net, challenging Graf on the ground strokes and on the passing shot. It's 5-4 Graf in this set. Shriver serving to stay in the set, 15 all.
Really, the serve has been the key here. There's only been one break point in this whole set, one break point opportunity, and that was one that Shriver had at 3-all. It's been a very well contested match, very close. Steffi's going for it more. She has 14 unforced errors, Shriver only 8, but Steffi has 14 winners, Shriver only 5.
There's that great net coverage from Pam Shriver. She's slowed up a pace or two in the last few years, but she has that wonderful reach.
This is Pam's big strategy today. Come in on Steffi Graf's backhand. Steffi hitting the passing shot way too high. Pam can hit a nice angle there, slicing it on the outside of the ball.
30-15. The open court. Smooth backhand up the line for her to go to 40-15.
Steffi Graf is actually trying to come into the net a lot more than usual, but she left too much room for Pam to hit that backhand slice down the line.
In a bit of trouble there, Tracy, trying to rally with Graf at the baseline. I'm sure she felt uncomfortable in that situation.
Yeah, I'm sure she was waiting for the short shot, but it never came. Steffi hitting very deep during that point. There you see that Steffi's going for her shots a lot more, and therefore she's going to have a lot more errors and a lot more winners.
Shriver holds on and evens the score at 5-all. Asking for the towel. Shriver's best appearance in a Grand Slam was right here at the US Open. It was only her second Grand Slam appearance in 1978 when she reached the final at 16 years of age. Take a look at what's happening around the grounds today. Renee Simpson-Alter ahead over Dahlman, 4-3 just in the first set. Eva Majoli trailing Florencia Labat. Majoli, an exciting new young player from Croatia, but she's down against the Argentinian there, 5-2 in the first set. And Ann Grossman tied at 1-all with Noelle van Lotten. Back to live action here on the grandstand. Steffi waiting for that jet to pass over and also for Shriver to be ready. Shriver has been relentless, Tracy, with that chip and charge, trying to attack the net on the first serve, the second serve of Graf. It's worked.
Yeah, that's really been her whole game, her whole career. Serve and volley on everything she can, and return and volley on everything she can.
Right in the corner. You like that one.
Well, you can't argue with this shot right on the line. Caught both lines, stayed through the ball. Smart shot by Steffi. She took the pace off of it, just dipped it down low. Pam Shriver being 6'1", those are tough to get down to. Movement has never been Pam's biggest weapon, but the height has made up for it a lot of the times.
from Steffi Graf.
It's her first.
Very rare in this match.
She usually doesn't double fault because she has a lot of topspin on her second serve. She doesn't go for that big second serve, just wants to get it in with some kick, nice and deep.
And a volley there from Steffi Graf, another rarity.
It's nice to see Steffi follow that forehand in. I think she can do that more. So many times she gets her opponent in trouble and prefers to stay at the baseline, and the point starts all over again. She ended it right there with a volley.
Well, the big forehand return was long there from Pam Shriver. It's 6-5 Graf in the first set. We'll be back with more tennis shortly.
It's definitely the match I played against Pam Shriver. We just talked about it, I think yesterday. I think 5-6 years back I played against her, and the match was 7-6, 6-7, 7-6. So it's probably the best memory I have about the US Open.
And that match was in 1985 in the quarterfinals here. I wonder if Steffi Graf is thinking about that. She hasn't been able to put Shriver away quickly.
That's amazing that that's her best memory. She's won this thing twice, and she goes back all the way 7 years to a quarterfinal match, but that was the first time she'd beaten Shriver.
It was such a close score. She probably hasn't had an experience like that since. She just rips through people usually, especially in the first rounds. But she's having a tough time here, and this, I think, is an extraordinary mark of consistency by Graf. Hasn't lost before the quarterfinals on a tour event in 7 years. Not many people that can say that, probably nobody else. 15 all, Shriver serving to stay in this first set, trailing 5-6, but looking very strong against Steffi Graf.
Again, it's so important for Pam Shriver to get her first serve in so she can get into the net. Because when she gets stuck in a baseline rally with Steffi Graf, it's very tough on her. Right now, Shriver's only serving 63%, Graf 70% first serves in. That's where you want to be, right around 70–75%.
Skies have darkened here a little bit on the grandstand as the clouds are rolling in. When she put up that lob, she was in trouble. Pam Shriver angry at herself.
She was hitting into the wind a little, so the lob landed shorter than she thought it would. Steffi reached up well for that. So 2 set points for Steffi Graf in the first set. This is the first time that Pam has had a break point against her this set.
Slow to move to that volley off the return from Steffi Graf. A good cross-court angle. And Graf takes the first set, 7-5, in this close encounter. Second round for Steffi Graf out here on the grandstand. Shriver's got a lot to think about now, Tracy, after making those few errors in the last game that cost her.
Steffi's bread and butter. She gets a chance to run around the backhand. Loves that forehand. Jumps into it. So everything. She actually likes to run around the forehand more. That's more of a weapon than the running forehand wide.
light really going on us here. Faint drizzle just starting out in the grandstand.
Here you see a rare topspin backhand from Steffi Graf. Beautiful. When she hits it right, she does it so well. She hits it a lot in practice.
And an ace from Graf to go to 40 love. Surprising in a way that Graf doesn't try for the backhand more on the topspin. She's learned it. She's worked with Heinz Gunther, her coach, on it, and yet she's shy of it in a match. So an ace followed by a double fault. .40-15 now.
And it keeps hitting that net like that. You know, you have to reach up a little bit more, snap that wrist.
Like that.
Perfect.
So Steffi holds and takes a 1-love lead in the second set after winning the first 7-5. And Shriver out here was in a little bit of trouble on her service game, but she's evened the score at 2-all in the second set. She's still going for it. We even saw a second serve ace, Tracy, right then. She's really not let up at all against Steffi Graf.
There's a lot of unforced errors. This match isn't being won with big shots, great shots. It's more airs. Steffi's not playing that well. Taking a little bit more time. Steffi loves to play quickly.
Also maybe waiting for the jet noise to dissipate. It's difficult to hear the ball coming off the strings of the server when the jets are flying over.
Great pass. And guessed down the line. You're right about that, Linda. You really used the sound of the ball so much. Steffi whips this forehand cross court, lots and lots of topspin, brushes up and over the ball.
Graf has been winning her serve fairly handily so far this set, but as you say, hasn't really been taking it to Shriver. She's just been responding to what Shriver's been giving her. Double fault from Steffi Graf.
It's her third double fault.
I think that's a product of rushing it a little bit when she's in a position to close out the game.
Woohoo! Big forehand.
She took that one in a hurry. Cross-court forehand to win the game and take a 3-2 lead. More tennis in a moment.
Continue with our coverage on USA Network, day number 4 of the U.S. Open. And if you're just joining us, well, we're in a momentary rain delay. Play has been suspended, and hopefully it is a steady rain, but a very light rain. So hopefully we will be able to pick up play in just a few minutes. And updating you now on the matches we have been keeping up with on the stadium court as we continue with the men's second round. The number 1 seed, Jim Courier, the number 1 player in the world, dropped the first set to Andrei Chesnikov, battled back, took the second. He's up a break when play was suspended, leading 3-1. Chesnikov will be serving once they resume that second round match. And over on the grandstand side, well, the number 2 seed, Steffi Graf, tested in the first set against Pam Shriver, won at 7-5, and leading right now 4-3 in the second set. When we come back, we're going to get an update with Michael Barkan. He's going to be talking to the tournament referee, Tom Barnes. That is when we return to Flushing Meadows.
The stadium court is dry and ready. Now the blowers and the crews have moved over to work on the grandstand court, where Steffi Graf and Pam Shriver were interrupted in the second set of their match. That will be getting underway in a bit. Chesnikov. And there's still more action going on the grandstand. Let's go there to Linda Pence and Tracy Austin.
Out here on the grandstand, Steffi Graf warming up with Pam Shriver. Graf won the first set in quite a difficult, close first set, 7-5. She's leading 4-3 with Shriver's serve to come. And Tracy, they've had quite a long break. What do players do when they're waiting out a rain delay?
Well, one thing that's tough about it is you don't know how long it's going to be. You don't know what to plan for. You want to eat a little bit of carbohydrates, maybe a banana or something to keep that energy level up. But usually you go in, you take a shower, try to rest, find out if it's raining still. The problem with these two players is that Steffi Graf is coming off of having a lot of trouble with her shoulder this summer. And Pam Shriver, she's always had problems with her shoulder. She had surgery on it in July of 1990, just came back to the circuit in January of 91. So after Pam plays, every single time, practice and a match, she ices her elbow and her shoulder. So that's a question. Do you ice it and then have to re-warm it up? Or do you just hope that it's going to stay warm and that your shoulder's going to stay warm enough and the break won't be too long? So that's a problem for these two players.
Probably spent quite a bit of time in the training room then. Steffi Graf getting ready to try and close out this match in straight sets if she can, but Shriver has to serve first.
And I think that's going to put a lot of pressure on Pam Shriver. She's got to come up with holding her serve right away.
Let's go back now to the stadium court and see what's happening there.
1 minute.
We'll be going back to the grandstand shortly. Graf now 1 game from closing out Shriver. Two sets to 1. Courier. Now let's go to the grandstand.
Moments ago here on the grandstand court, Steffi Graf came out the stronger of the two. She broke Pam Shriver right away to take a 5-3 lead. Pam Shriver just probably not warmed up enough. That shoulder a little too stiff to put in the big serve. Graf raced to match point. She's ready to get this over with. And the return from Shriver goes long, giving Steffi Graf a straight sets win. 7-5, 6-3. We'll be back with Tracy Austin talking to Steffi Graf after this. Shriver in 7-5, 6-3. Now let's go down to courtside where Tracy Austin is standing by with Steffi Graf.
Thanks, Linda. Steffi, Pam Shriver had to come out after that rain delay with her serve. Do you think that put a lot of pressure on her?
Yeah, it's difficult to say, but she knew she had to really serve a good game. Otherwise, like it showed, it was going to be my game. But it's difficult if you just wait and sit around, and you got to come up with some great shots right from the beginning.
And what do you do during a rain delay like that?
It's just basically sit around, take something to eat, something small, and then just read.
Usually your early round matches are pretty easy. This was just a little bit tougher. Are you pleased with your game right now?
Well, I think it was good to have a tougher game, especially playing against Pam, which is always a difficult thing because of the way she plays coming in. And so I think it was good to have a little bit of closer games, and so I'm happy about it.
Steffi, I know that you've been having some shoulder problems earlier in the summer. How is it now, and how did that rain delay affect your shoulder?
I have no problems at all right now. I've been pain-free for quite a few days now, so I think it doesn't really affect any of my game.
Great. Thanks, Steffi. It's great news down here.
Well, Tracy, quite a relaxed Steffi Graf out there reading a book during the rain delay, not troubled by any injury problems. We'll be back with more tennis as we look at the draw sheet being updated after this.
Has just completed her third round action, defeating Nan Dahlman 6-4 and 6-2. Let's take a look at match point.
Game 7 match draw.
And what a dandy it was. An ace from the former champion, Steffi Graf, who is in top form in this tournament, rolling past the Finnish player today and on into the fourth round. And so